Oh, there's me balancing my phone again. Alright, that video split a little bit because I took a phone call. Bit of safety advice for people out there with bad backs. If you're going to lift even a moped up and you struggle with it, just get a bit of help, okay? Don't ever fuss yourself, because you don't want it falling on you. That won't be good. Okay, so as you can see, we now got the Yamaha QT50 that we are going to strip the engine down today. Okay, so first of all, what we are going to do is we're going to take off. I'm going to go in with the tool trolley that I've got next to me. I'm going to get out a screwdriver. We're going to undo the carburettor. Okay, first thing we're going to do. Now, as we take these bits off, what I recommend everybody does when they do these things is you take the time to label nuts and bolts if you don't know what they are. Now, we've got a bit of fuel dripping, so we don't want a bit of fuel dripping everywhere, so we're going to grab a container. The tank is pretty dry. There's always residual fuel in pipes, so make sure the tap is turned off, pull the fuel line off. Okay, now what we've got to do to get the carburetor off, we need to take this Phillips screw out. We need to very carefully remove the needle and the choke mechanism on this moped. Hang it out of the way. Now, the carburetor on these comes off that easy. Okay, got to take that off, and that is your little Yamaha QT50 carburettor. Alright, we're not going to worry ourselves with that because we're not going to clean that and jet that just yet. We're going to put it in its little bowl in case there's any residual fuel in there, and that is off. Now, the next thing we've got to do is we are going to unplug our wiring from the engine there, and as we come over here, there's these plugs. Now, you could label these up, but I've taken these apart so many times now, I know where the plugs go, so it doesn't bother me. Other people, you might want to label them up, but it's not difficult. As you can see, you have a block connector here and a block connector here, and you have a single bullet connector here, and that all goes together on to the wiring loom. It's not difficult to know where they go when you take them off. So my advice is don't fuss yourself too much. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to get our little toolbox out. Now, while I'm doing this, why don't we have a little chat about tools? You'll notice I've got the Halfords Advanced tool set. I don't know if you can get those in the States, anyone watching in the States. I know you guys use a thing called Harbour Freight, a lot of you guys. But a home toolkit, this little toolkit is fantastic. They come with a lifetime guarantee. And when I say a lifetime guarantee, snap-on, as you notice, I've got a large snap-on banner that a friend of mine gave me hanging on my wall, because I love snap-on tools. They are absolutely brilliant, but they're also very expensive for the home mechanic or someone who's just doing this as a hobby. So if you just want good quality tools at not millions of pounds, in the UK, I'd recommend without a shadow of a doubt spending the money on Halfords Advanced range tools. I've got my sockets and spanners there, and I've got a set of screwdrivers up there. Now, this little set retails on a normal day for around about £38. I bought it in the Black Friday sale for £20. Remember, £20, that's £20. If I break any of that, I walk into Halfords and go, that is broken, can you please replace it? And without argument, they will replace that, any of the sockets in that set. So that's just some tool advice for you. Bear with me 2 seconds, because I now need to put the phone down and try and balance it where you can see me. what I'm doing, because I need to reach round and undo the bolts, which I believe are 12mm on the exhaust pipe, and then my exhaust pipe will come off. Nice and easy. I'm new to making YouTube videos, so I apologise for the quality of the video and the fact that I don't have a stand yet. If I get enough viewers and people are interested enough in what I'm doing, I'll invest in a stand for people so you can see what I'm doing. And the exhaust, now it's loose, just slides off, so you don't have to take those 10mm bolts off the head, sorry, off the cylinder all the way. There we have one Yamaha QT50 exhaust. Now I've got a little workbench over here. I'm going to put stuff on. Okay, so I'm just going to place that down out of the way. And then we're going to come back. Now, the next thing I'm going to remove is my spark. No, I'm going to leave that there. Don't have to, I've got to remember I don't have to undo that. There you go, don't have to undo that. What I do need to do is I need to undo these leads, okay? These cables. These cables are the automatic oiler here. And they go up through the frame there. Let's see if I can get the camera on it for you. Yeah, okay. Now, what there is, you're not going to see it because my light's not very good. Maybe if I... So here we go, look, there's a bit of light there for you. So you can see that there, that cable adjusts to this little pulley down here. It's actually quite a simple thing to remove. I'm just going to put you all down for a second, because I want you to try and see as much of what I'm doing as possible. For those of you out there playing with the little Yamaha QT50s and are thinking there's not much out there for me to see. Now this little cylinder twists. So as you can see there, the cable's tight. The cable now becomes slack. Okay. All I need now is just a small pair of long nose pliers. I don't know if anyone can see that. I'm trying to balance my camera. No, you're not going to see that. Okay. Just get your little long nose pliers. Change them ones. These are fiddly little jobs, just take your time, don't try and break anything. Break stuff, it costs you more money. Or the customer, if you've got a customer that's you're charging to do this, no one wants to pay more money than they need to. But they are fiddly. This is just a fiddly little job. I'm going to move this cable out of the way, this oiling tube just out of my way here. Getting in my way a little bit. Oh. You don't want to come out. There we go. Let's go. That's, as you can see, that's that loose. Okay, it's a fiddly little job. It's not a difficult job. It's fiddly. There's always a difference between fiddly and difficult. So now you can see all of our throttle cable mechanism is completely and utterly free. Okay. So what I'm going to do is be very careful. I'm going to put that down there. Now I'm going to place this screw back in the top of the carburetor so I don't lose it. So we know all our throttle cable mechanisms are free. And we've got this oiler here, this oiling, this tube comes down from the oil in the tank and feeds this automatic oiler. When you take that out, that will leak. So a suggestion for you is to come over to a junk box and find yourself a decent sized bolt, not a screw, a decent sized bolt. So when you take that off, place it in there. So I'm going to give that a pull off. It should come off quite easy. It's not a particularly tight fit, he says. So it comes off nice and easy, but you can see the oil is running out. So all I'm going to do, hopefully that's the right size, put you all down for a minute. Now you can see I've got a screw in there. That's not going to leak too badly. So we solved that problem. I'll put you all back down here in my makeshift little holder. God, that video is going to annoy you. Sorry folks, still learning. I'm not a natural YouTuber. So that's all loose. That's all loose. Let's take a little rag and wipe up the mess. Okay, we don't want that, there's a mess everywhere, do we? So now what we've got to do, we're going to take the brake off, brake cable off here, take the wheel off. Now, take the brake off, pull it forward, undo this screw. It's not a difficult job this, just got to have a bit of strength in your fingers. Be careful of the spring, and you'll have this that goes through the wheel. Okay, so it goes through the bolt that holds it into the brake arm. Don't lose that. You need all these bits. Okay, you don't want to be losing anything. Pull that off, feed it all back on. That's now free from the wheel, and screw it back up. These are fun little bikes. I'm a tall bloke, 6'3", so it's not really the sort of bike that I would go around riding. My father-in-law loves them very much. They're just his cup of tea. But they are a nice little bike actually. They're a good fun little bike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around. See, I've got a bolt there. I'm going to undo that bolt. This is a 19mm, I believe. No, it's an 18, so that one picked up the right spanner. It's 19mm, I'm going to support the bike. I'm going to put you all down again. I need to support the bike and hold the wheel. This won't be on site because this hasn't been on the road for a long time. We've already stripped this bike down, which I told you before, we've had the engine out. Which was just to do a few checks. But we didn't expect crank seals to have been gone on it. Now, I have got a leak down tester arriving on Monday. Today is Saturday. I've got a leak down tester arriving on Monday, which will allow me to actually do a proper leak down test on this bike if I choose to. To be honest with you, I sort of might just split the engine and strip it for the fun of doing it. But there is a thing called a leak down tester, which I will make a video on, which gives you a good idea of when you set up the pressure on whether you are losing any air. So this has to be pressurized. Anywhere in here, if it's not, and you're losing air through something, then you won't have a vehicle that is running well, which is we do not have a vehicle that's running well. I'm going to replace these exhaust bracket bolts, mounting bolts, so I don't lose them. Remember what I said, take a bolt out, place it back, or at least tub it up and put a note on it saying exhaust bolts, bracket bolts. Otherwise you lose them, don't know where stuff goes. And if you don't do this for a living and you're not doing it every day, day in, day out, you will forget stuff. Everybody does. Whereas if you do it every day, day in, day out, you'll start a job and 9 times out of 10 have a job finished in a day, a couple of hours, whatever the job sheet says you should have it done in. Now, in theory, all I should have to do now is undo this, and this frame should lift away from this engine. That's the theory. So we will take, I reckon they are 14s. Yep, they're 14s. That's still loose, you see, because we didn't check all this to finish it off because the bike didn't run, so we didn't have to road test it. Again, when we talk about road testing, make sure your vehicles are insured. Okay, no one wants to be getting arrested, fined because of lack of insurance and all those other things that cause you problems. I have to put you all down now because I need both hands. You see my span up my little tool wall. Because if I don't put you down, the bike's going to go. Okay. What I suggest you do is leave that in till you undone the engine bolt. Okay. Otherwise, what it do is pull forward. The frame will pull forward, and you will not be able to control what you're doing. And I think that's a 15 or 17. Oh, it's neither. It's a 15. It's got to be a 15. It's not a 15. It's definitely a 14. I got my spanners wrong and just wrapped my knuckles. That happens, people. Pick up the wrong spanner size, make a mistake, it's going to hurt. And I should know better. Invariably the Japanese use 12 and 14s in most of their stuff. They don't really use 13s, 10s, 12s and 14s on Japanese vehicles. That's what you get. Now I'm leaking blood. But only a little bit, nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. We've had worse in our lives. So, that's off. This bolt's off. Once I take that off and this out, I should, in theory, be able to lift this frame, clean off this motorcycle. As long as I haven't missed anything. If I've missed anything, which I don't think I have, you can all have a chuckle at my expense. Take the weight of the frame. Right, that's free. Pull that off. Now in theory, you've got to watch it doesn't drop. It's going to drop. So I'm going to shift it all the way forward. Let it go. Because I don't have much room in my little shed. What I should be able to do is lift that right out of the way and that is one free engine. Not an effective way of doing it, but I'm doing it on my own. I haven't got any help. Sometimes you haven't got any help, that's how it goes. Make sure you haven't done any damage. Lay the bike frame down. And that is our little Yamaha QT50. Engine out and on the bench in 20 minutes. They're that quick and easy to do. With 2 hands it's 10 minutes, but I didn't have 2 hands. I had my hands and I didn't have a second set to help me. So thank you very much for watching my first YouTube video, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure to try and make a video. I've never made a YouTube video before, although I have made other videos. My name's Chris. I'll speak to you in the next one. Thank you very much.